At the stroke of midnight, an operation was set into motion that would change the course of history. The U.S. Navy SEALs, renowned for their precise and deadly tactics, stormed a multi-billion-dollar cartel fortress. This wasn't just another raid. What followed was a pulse-pounding battle that would leave the world in shock. What really happened when the SEALs breached this impenetrable stronghold? Let's dive into the heart of this extraordinary mission. In the dead of night, under complete darkness, one of the most daring raids in modern military history took place. The U.S. Navy SEALs executed a high-stakes mission that involved infiltrating a cartel's $6 billion compound located deep in hostile territory. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment, the SEALs entered the compound with one goal: to bring down a cartel that had terrorized nations. But this mission wasn't just about capturing criminals. It was about disrupting an empire built on blood, fear, and illegal wealth. The operation was a testament to the elite training and bravery of the Navy SEALs and the global effort to dismantle criminal organizations. The build-up months of painstaking preparation led to this decisive moment. Intelligence gathered through surveillance, wiretaps, and undercover operations painted a detailed portrait of the cartel's operations. This was no ordinary criminal group. It was a sophisticated organization that spanned several countries, with a network of alliances, enforcers, and vast resources. The SEALs had to understand not just the layout of the compound, but also the criminals' escape routes, hidden stashes, and the security systems in place. The mission had one objective: take down the cartel's leadership and destroy its operational center. The entire success of the operation depended on precision, timing, and flawless execution. The midnight assault. As the clock struck 12, the SEALs deployed. A combination of helicopters, ground teams, and reconnaissance drones ensured complete tactical advantage. Without giving the cartel a chance to react, the SEALs breached the compound's outer defenses. The walls of the fortress that had once seemed impregnable were no match for the precision of these elite forces. The SEALs navigated through the compound's complex design, taking out hostile targets swiftly and with minimal casualties. Gunfire rang through the night as the SEALs engaged cartel members who fought back fiercely. This assault wasn't just a mission, it was a statement of overwhelming force. The cartel's fortress, a $6 billion empire. The compound was a fortress, both physically and financially. Inside its reinforced walls were millions in cash, gold, and drugs. High-tech communications systems allowed the cartel to coordinate with other organizations, while the heavily fortified rooms and secret underground tunnels gave them the ability to move swiftly and unseen. The facility housed everything the cartel needed to maintain its power: a luxurious living space for the leaders, training areas for operatives, and weapon caches hidden in plain sight. But beyond the wealth and armament, it was the core of an empire worth $6 billion, controlling the flow of drugs, weapons, and money across multiple continents. The SEALs weren't just targeting a building. They were targeting an entire criminal empire. Unexpected resistance, a deadly fight. Despite the element of surprise, the cartel was prepared for battle. A group of heavily armed cartel enforcers, some former military personnel, fiercely fought back against the SEALs. The cartel knew they were in a life-or-death struggle, and they weren't going down easily. Explosions shattered the night as both sides exchanged fire. It was a deadly game of cat and mouse, with each side using all available resources. The SEALs' training and discipline proved superior as they systematically neutralized the enemy, but not without losses on both sides. The battle raged on, highlighting the resilience and desperation of the cartel's forces. The turning point, cartel leadership targeted. Amidst the chaos, the SEALs had one clear mission: capture the cartel's kingpin. This individual wasn't just a leader, He was the symbol of the cartel's power. For years, his operations had devastated entire nations. The aftermath, the cartel's fall. Once the dust settled and the compound was secured, the full scope of the operation became clear. Not only had the U.S. Navy SEALs successfully taken down the cartel's leadership, but they had also seized vast quantities of drugs, weapons, and money. The $6 billion empire, built on illegal trade, was no more. The cartel's operations were shattered, and its influence in the drug trade was significantly reduced. For the cartel, this was the ultimate defeat, losing their headquarters and their leader in one fell swoop. Law enforcement agencies across multiple countries celebrated the operation as one of the most significant victories in the war against organized crime. The global impact. A blow to the cartel empire. The impact of this raid went far beyond the immediate arrest and destruction of cartel assets. Within hours, international law enforcement was on high alert, with the operation serving as a template for future raids on global criminal networks. The fall of this cartel sent a clear message to other organizations. No matter how powerful or entrenched you are, the reach of law enforcement is relentless. In the aftermath, authorities seized billions of dollars in assets and resources, which would be repurposed to fight other criminal organizations. The ripple effects were felt globally, as rival cartels and criminal groups reevaluated their operations. For the world's most dangerous criminals, this raid represented a monumental shift in the balance of power. The SEALs' preparation, a mission of precision. Before launching the raid, the Navy SEALs underwent weeks of preparation, meticulously planning every detail of the operation. From satellite imagery to human intelligence, the team gathered every possible bit of information. In the days leading up to the assault, the SEALs simulated the raid in a series of mock drills, ensuring every team member knew their role inside and out. The complex structure of the cartel compound, complete with hidden rooms, fortified walls, and underground tunnels, required an intricate plan to ensure swift penetration and maximum efficiency. The use of cutting-edge technology, such as drones, infrared sensors, and real-time satellite feeds, gave the SEALs the upper hand. The preparation was flawless, and they were ready to face whatever resistance came their way. This level of detail and coordination is what made the SEALs successful in such a dangerous environment, proving that preparation is just as important as execution in special operations. The intelligence game, how the SEALs tracked the cartel. One of the most critical aspects of the mission was the intelligence gathered on the cartel's operations. It wasn't just about knowing where the cartel was located. It was about understanding their every move. Over the course of several months, the intelligence community worked hand in hand with military forces to track down the cartel's leadership. They relied on a mix of satellite surveillance, intercepted communications, and on-the-ground agents who infiltrated the cartel's network. This gave the SEALs a near-precise blueprint of the compound, the locations of key figures, and even the timing of cartel operations. What made this even more challenging was the cartel's own counter-surveillance, designed to hide their movements and thwart outside detection. But the collaboration between military intelligence, field agents, and cutting-edge technology ultimately paid off. Without this invaluable intel, the raid would have been far more dangerous and less likely to succeed. The cartel's reaction: a fight for survival. The cartel, aware of the threat against them, had made significant efforts to fortify their compound. For months, they had been anticipating a potential assault from law enforcement or military forces. Knowing that their leadership was a prime target, the cartel took extreme measures to ensure their survival. High-tech surveillance systems, armed guards, and traps were set in place, but even with all these precautions, they could not have predicted the SEALs' level of precision. When the SEALs breached the outer defenses, the cartel immediately switched to combat mode, using every weapon at their disposal. The well-trained cartel operatives retaliated fiercely, but their lack of coordination and advanced tactics proved to be their downfall. Their response was more chaotic than strategic, and the SEALs capitalized on this. Despite the brutality of the cartel's defense, the SEALs, with their superior tactics and training, were able to quickly overcome their resistance and move forward with their mission.